I certainly felt this like pop. And she was like, oh, I think I just broke your water again. And it's a real thing. It was a lot of water and I couldn't feel it, but I could hear it. And then all of a sudden my stomach was like half the size. Oh my gosh. So it wasn't all baby, it was all water.
Well, Sharna, you do not look like you just had a baby 4 weeks ago. You look absolutely amazing. How are you feeling?
I feel amazing. I am now 4 weeks. I can't believe Zane is a month old. First of all, it has gone so fast. And it's been beautiful. You know, it was an unexpected C-section, so recovery was definitely more intense than I had anticipated. And there was an adjustment there that I had to understand this is what we're doing and then learn about what recovery was. But I'm so grateful for healing and Zane and Brian and all the help that I've had. It's been really a beautiful experience and, you know, motherhood for the first time.
It's crazy. I mean, I know for me, like those first few weeks, those first few months, it's like a newborn haze. It's crazy. You don't know what time of day it is. You're like, did I shower today? I mean, what's been the most surprising, challenging thing for you in these first few weeks?
Oh, gosh. Probably all of it because it's so new. In that first week, I was emotional every day in a good way, emotional, happy tears, but I couldn't look at Zane and tell him I loved him without weeping. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I okay? And being assured that it was, that's absolutely normal. And I think it's always shocking, even though people warn you how quickly they grow, that newborn stage truly only lasts for maybe the first 2 weeks and then they start turning into a baby. But I think probably the most shocking thing is you go into this as a first-time mum and you're like, what if I don't know what to do? What if I don't have an instinct? What if I do it all wrong? What if I drop him? You have all these insane, irrational fears, and then you get to it and instinct kicks in and you have this baby that is a part of you in your arms and you just somehow know what to do. And for those moments that I haven't known what to do, I'm so grateful for Bri, who has been just an absolutely beautiful support, and watching him be a father has been wonderful.
I'm sure it makes you fall in love with him all over again.
All over again, girl. It's crazy. It's the most attractive I've ever seen him, and we're both sleep deprived.
Right. I mean, kind of go back a little bit. I know that you opened up on Instagram about, this unexpected C-section and how Freedom Mom kind of helped you out. Freedom Mom, best thing ever, helped me out completely too. I mean, what was that like? And I mean, kind of walk me through your labor and delivery, what you were expecting and how things kind of changed.
So I had that mindset of my birth plan is to give birth. I didn't want to go in thinking it would be one way and then have to change in the middle of it and feel uneasy about that. But I didn't, for some reason, consider a C-section. I just figured I was going to give a vaginal birth. And so I went in expecting that. And what had happened after 30 plus hours of labor, and Zane not doing well with Pitocin. His heart rate would dip a little bit when I would have contractions. So we went through, a day and a half of trying to figure that out. And then eventually we got to a point where I wasn't dilating. And at one point we had like almost 20 people rush into the room and it freaked me out completely. And Zane was okay. It was just a minor thing, but they wanted to make sure everything was okay. And at that point, there was no other decision to make. It's whatever gets him out safely, whatever keeps both of us safe. Let's do that. And so it's just been a beautiful experience for me. But when I opened up on Instagram and shared how much Freedom Mom had helped me, and honestly, having those products, it's a game changer. I didn't realize how many women have C-sections and then feel that failure and guilt that they haven't done the right thing or that they weren't able to do it properly. And I'm so grateful that I haven't felt that pressure. It didn't feel like I didn't do it properly. It felt like this was the way he was supposed to come into the world. But I didn't realize there was a stigma about C-section. So maybe ignorance was bliss at the time. But in hearing women's stories online, I want to definitely take away that stigma and normalize them. And I love the term belly birth. I think that's so beautiful.
And you're proudly showing off your C-section scar too, which I think is great, you know. And like you said, I know a lot of women too that have had C-sections and they feel the same way, like, oh, this was not the plan, and you know, it's a harder recovery. But like you said, that's the way it was supposed to be. That's how it was meant to be, and it's so true.
Yeah, I think I said to someone on Instagram that shared their story, I was like, listen, no matter what door that baby came through into this world, you still created it and opened it. And I think that is the truth for all of us mums. I can call myself a mum now. I'm a mum. It's crazy.
So weird, right? Did your water break before you went to the hospital? Like, how did you kind of know that you were in labor?
So my water broke twice, which I didn't even know was a thing. So it was like 1:30 in the morning and we knew not to rush, and my water broke. And I remember I was like, I felt it. I was in bed and I went to the bathroom. Bryce sort of came around the corner. He's like, baby, you okay? And I was like, I think so, but I think my water just broke. And he's like, okay. So we timed contractions and we were, you know, keeping a close monitor, a close watch on me. But I was able to get a few more hours sleep. Then we got to the hospital. And then 9:30 that night, again, my water broke.
Crazy. When
one of the nurses was checking me, I didn't even know it was a thing. I had an epidural, so I was, you know, numb from the waist down, but I certainly felt this like pop. And she was like, oh, I think I just broke your water again. And it's a real thing. But it was like a tap turned on. And I mean, it was a lot of water, and I couldn't feel it, but I could hear it. And then all of a sudden my stomach was like half the size. Even Brian, my mum, who was there at the hospital with me, were like, oh my gosh, so it wasn't all baby, it was all water. And we thought that was going to be the thing, that, oh, now he can come down, but still hours later the next morning, he wasn't able to. So he came through my tongue.
He was comfortable in there. He didn't want to come out.
Yeah, he was like, Mom, I'm good. Like, I don't need to come out now. He needed to come out now.
He needed to come out now. I mean, what was it like holding him for the very first time?
Oh, I cried. So I had this fear, you know, I had the epidural, they'd been trying Pitocin. I was feeling a little bit outside of my body on that table, and I was so worried that I wasn't going to feel present for it. But the minute he came out and I saw him, there was no other thing in the world. There was complete clarity. There was just him. We did skin on skin straight away. They put him on my chest, and I cried. I could cry now talking about it. I cried. And Bri was right there with me, next to me, and his little hand was gripping my shoulder, and he was so alert in his eyes and looking at me. And I swear he was lifting his head a little bit too, which is crazy. He's a newborn. It was just the most unbelievable thing. And there are no real words that can describe it properly other than it being pure magic.
It really is. It's like by far the best moments of my life. Just talking about it too, like makes you want to tear up, because it is. It's such a special moment and something that you can't really put into words. I mean, when you and Brian were deciding on Zane's name, how did you guys kind of come up with that? I love his name. I think it's so unique and so fun.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, it is cool.
We had a list of names. I also really liked the name Arrow. There was a bunch of names on that list. Mm-hmm. And it was just really in conversation over the months of being pregnant, talking and throwing names out there. Oh, what about this? What about that? And we had a couple of really cool names, but at the kids' school, everyone has a cool name. And they were like, oh no, so-and-so's called that. And I was like, well, we can't have the same name as someone else. But at one point he was like, what do you think of the name Walker? And I was like, oh, I really like that. Mm-hmm. And at some point I brought up the name Zane. And we kind of, not that we battled it out at all, but Bri's favorite name was Walker, mine was Zane, mm-hmm. playing around with different spellings of it. And then eventually we settled on Zane Walker Green. And I think it's perfect. I think it suits him. And we went for the Zane spelling because it felt nice for us. It felt strong like Walker. So yeah, I think it suits him. I think he got the right name.
I definitely. I mean, what is this past month? What kind of milestones has he hit in this past month? I mean, like you said, is he lifting his head up a little bit? How's tummy time going? I mean, what's kind of is his little personality starting to creep in a little bit?
So on the day of his birth, he smiled at my mum. And as soon as she held him when we got to the recovery room, he's been giggling in his sleep since he was like 2 or 3 days old. he's been alert with his eyes the whole time. It's like those big, beautiful eyes, which are Bry's eyes for sure. You feel like they look at you into your soul. And I'm sure every parent says this, by the way, but I feel like it really does. I know his eyes are still developing, but it feels like he so sees you when he looks at you. Tummy time is going amazing. He's already incredibly strong. He is a good sleeper and a good eater, just like his parents. This kid can eat all day. At some point he's had, like, in the last week, I think he started like close to 5 ounces. Wow. When we're doing bottle, like I do breastfeed, it's all breast milk. Yeah. But sometimes I pump so Bri can feed. But he's just a healthy, strong, growing boy. He's already over 10 pounds. You know, he came out at 8'2", and now he's over 10 pounds. Oh my God, he's a big baby.
It sounds like he's doing great. I mean, how is breastfeeding going for you? I mean, I know for me, when I first started breastfeeding my daughter, it was a challenge. That was probably harder for me than birth. It was really difficult for me, and it really put me through an emotional roller coaster. So, I mean, how has it been for you? Has it been a challenge? Has it been easier than you thought it was going to be?
I have been very, very lucky. I know many women struggle with breastfeeding. From the minute we got from the delivery room to the recovery room, within that first hour, I asked the nurse, I was like, should I breastfeed him? And she said, well, yeah, absolutely, let's try. And this kid was like a shark attack, just like found it and got on it. And then I was like, okay. And wonderful nurses at Cedars were able to help me with getting a good latch and the way to do it. They were really gentle and wonderful. I've heard horror stories of people saying, just shove the baby on, and that's really not great for mum or baby. So I'm really, really grateful for them and the wonderful education I had with it. And he latches easily. I haven't had pain. I pump probably about 18 ounces of breast milk a day. And
yeah, that's great.
So I'm incredibly grateful for that because I know, and I've had friends that have struggled with it too. But a very good friend of mine makes me her breast milk cookies, Kennedy. She makes me her breast milk cookies, and I think they might be the secret.
I love that. I love that so much. Like you said, when you come out of the hospital, you're wearing like the Freedom Mom, like mesh diapers and things like that. Yep. What kind of surprised you the most about postpartum life, and what's been the biggest adjustment? I don't know if you have had hair falling out already. If that's happened to you at all? Any surprising things?
I haven't had hair falling out yet. I don't know. It's, who knows? It could surprise me. I've been very lucky with that. But genuinely, what surprises me the most is you have this major abdominal surgery that if it was any other surgery, you would be taken care of by multiple people and laying down for weeks. But they give you this baby and they're like, good luck. It's like, what do you mean? You're wearing a diaper? You can't pee, you can't do anything for yourself. And you kind of go, what do you mean good luck? And it's that emotional, physical, and mental adjustment of, okay, I can do this. C-section recovery is so intense. As fit and strong as I am, it makes no difference. I'm the same as everyone else. I have been split wide open in a sense, not a medical term, obviously, but there's a lot that happens in my body. I could not get out of bed without having to wrap my hands around the sheets and use my arms because I couldn't use my core. I couldn't shift myself to get in the right position for breastfeeding. I had to have help with everything. The pain, the unbelievable pain that you're feeling when your uterus contracts to go back to normal size and that cramping. Honestly, recovery for me was way harder than birth. The hardest part about birth was the mental switch of this is what's happening. The recovery from a C-section, and I'm lucky. By 2 weeks, I'm up, I'm moving, I'm walking around. I've dropped a lot of the weight and water weight. I'm a rare case, I think. From the stories I hear of women with C-sections, they could be 2 months out and still experiencing an unbelievable pain with their healing. My one complication, a major one that I had, is my scar has bubbled a little from a reaction to the tape. So I have been very lucky, but it's surprising. To answer your question more directly, it's shocking how your body can go from where it just expanded to and moved to and on its own without doing anything other than allowing it to do it, it goes back on itself and it pieces itself back together. And it really makes you understand how incredible women are. We are an absolute miracle on our own that our body can do this. It is magic. It is divine design, this body that we have.
It really is.
The fact that it can do it is something to be in awe of. And that has helped me have patience with my body while, you know, I'm such an independent person. I want to get up and move and do things for myself. And I had to have patience and grace with myself and in letting my body do its thing first.
No doubt. I mean, you look fantastic. I mean, do you feel pressure at all to get the baby weight off? Or is that not even in your mind right now?
Honestly, I thought I would. I thought in having been an athlete and my body being, you know, my career, and it's not just about aesthetics on the outside, it's about how my core feels to be able to dance and do what I do. Mm-hmm. I thought I would feel that pressure. I don't have pressure on myself. I would love to do the next season of Dancing with the Stars. It's a conversation. I have to wait another 2 weeks before I can work out to test my body to see. But as far as aesthetically getting the weight off or worrying about what I look like, I had the initial fear of looking in the mirror and seeing where I was at. But I was so, and this is the honest truth, so overjoyed and grateful and blessed to have this beautiful baby that it was like, you know what, I'll get back to me, but I have him now. And that's worth everything.
Oh, definitely. So there is a chance that we could see you on the dance floor though this come fall?
There's a chance. I mean, listen, Dancing with the Stars has to also say they want me. We know that, you know, and I would love to be a part of it if my doctors and my body allows. Yeah. You know, it's an exciting thing. It's over on Disney now, and Conrad Green is back, which is just so amazing. I loved having him. He was the first executive producer when I joined the show. I have really great memories of that. So, but if I'm not there dancing in person with them, I will for sure be supporting from the sidelines or in the audience if I can.
Definitely. What do you think about Alfonso joining as co-host?
Yes, isn't that so? I mean, listen, he's been a part of the Dancing with Stars family for a long time. I think he's an amazing fit. We all love him. He's family to us. Mm-hmm. You know, we spend Thanksgivings at his place, and she's quite me. Incredible advice on parenting or products and things to use for baby healthy. She's very much about having the healthiest options for her children, and I so appreciate her advice too. So listen, having them be with us, it only makes it all the more sweeter. I love that.
I love that. Has a lot of your Dancing with the Stars family met baby Zane?
They have. A bunch of them have. Lindsay's also trying to plan a trip to come out here to meet baby Zane. Peter, obviously, Danny, Pasha, Sasha, a lot of them. So many have met him. They love him. They think he's the cutest thing. Some people think he looks like me. Some people think he looks like Bri. I think it's this crazy mix of like my head, but Brian's features, if that makes sense. But what I do know is that they change a lot from day to day. And 1 minute I think I see who he looks like, the next minute it changes. So who knows? But he's a beautiful kid, if I do say so myself.
Definitely. I know you mentioned a little bit before about what it's like seeing, I mean, I know you've seen Brian as a father to his, you know, to the boys, but what is it like seeing him as a father all over again, you know, starting from this newborn stage?
I melt. Like I watch him, the way he talks to him and the way he loves on him or soothes him and how gentle he is and how unbelievably helpful he is with me. He's such an active and involved dad. And I knew that from him with the kids. But, you know, he's such a beautiful soul, up all night with me if we need to be, or up all night to allow me to sleep if I have things. We do that for each other, and we really do share in the responsibility and the good and the bad of all of it. You know, those 3 a.m. feeds where you're like, oh my God, I feel like I just fell asleep for 5 minutes. You know, he's in that with me. And I couldn't have predicted that I could fall more in love with him, but I have. Watching him be a dad in this way, it melts me. It melts me.
And I'm sure he's been such a big support as you recovered from your C-section too, because a lot of it, I'm sure, probably fell on him too, because like you said, you had to use a sheet to just get out of bed.
100%. He was such a gift in bringing me anything that I needed, and always gentle with me, and encouraging me to take the time for me to rest. I'm the one that was like, no, I can do it. And he's like, baby, stop, just rest, let yourself do what you need to do. Because again, it really is major surgery, and I needed his help with everything. At some point I couldn't walk properly other than, bent over. And no joke, that first time going to the bathroom is terrifying, and he's there supporting me, not in the bathroom, obviously,
right.
But he's that emotional support for me as well, and he's been just such a gift through this whole experience.
I'm sure. I know a couple times when, right after baby and your emotions are all over the place, my husband be like, all right, just got to calm down. I know you're crying over literally everything, but it's okay.
I had a meltdown because I thought that I used the wrong medical syringe. Those wellies, the gripe water?
Yeah.
And I had given him accidentally a little bit too much, and I had a meltdown. I was like, what if, oh my God, what if that was medicine? What if? And he's like, baby, it's fine. This is, don't worry about it. I cried, thinking I was going to mess it all up. But he, again, he supports me through all of it emotionally, physically. I could not have done this without him. He's been wonderful.
Definitely. How are the boys doing, adjusting to their new baby brother? Are they helping out a lot? Are they loving every moment of it?
They are obsessed with him. They come in every morning. They sneak in. They tiptoe to see if they can see baby Zane. They love giving him love and kisses. The day we got home from the hospital, I have beautiful photos of them holding him. They love him so much. They think he's the cutest thing ever. And they keep talking about all the things they're going to do with him and teach him when he grows. And it's just, my gosh, we couldn't have asked for it to go better for us in having a new addition into our family and growing. And Zane has come into so much love, and he has siblings that are going to love and support him. And I could not ask for more. Honestly, it's a dream.
That is so great. I know, like you said, that he's involved in this big, beautiful family. I know, has Meghan met the baby yet?
She did. She came in and got some Zane snuggle time, which was wonderful, and really great to see. She said he's super cute and such a chill baby, which he is. It's amazing how chill he is. He doesn't cry. We've not had tears yet. And he's like a social butterfly. He's like, oh, you're going to hold me now? Cool. No worries. And he just goes in anyone's arms and relaxes. So, but yeah, it's been really cool.
I love that. It must be so nice to know that your son and everybody in your family is surrounded by so much love. Is that so important to you?
It is. It is really important. And I love that he has such a big family. It's something I wanted. I was an only child, and I always wished for brothers and sisters. But Zane has come into a big family, and there's so much love and support, and everyone is so excited to have him here. It does mean a lot to me. It means the world to me that he's going to grow up in this family. It's very special.
I love that so much. I know Brian said recently in an interview that he thinks he's done having kids.
Notice he was like, I think. Never say never, but I think.
What's your take on that?
It's, we're both on the same page. It's not that I wouldn't love to have more kids. It's, I want to be able to spend amazing quality time with Zane, and of course the other kids too. We have 3 beautiful children in this house, and now we've got 4 young kids. And we have that joke of, he just, went up to a Denali so we could all fit in the same car. If we have one more kid, we're almost at like Sprinter van status, or a school bus, as he says. And that's the truth. We, it's not that we wouldn't love to bring another one, and hopefully a girl if we do decide to do it. Hopefully, Brian makes boys, but we'll see. Yeah. Can't really roll the dice on that one. I'm not sure if we'd be able to make a girl, but we'd love to see if we could. But it is a big decision. It's a big decision to then have 5 young kids in the home. So we'll see. But I don't know. I'm so in love with this experience that maybe. But right now I'm 4 weeks out. So let's just settle into this one and see how it goes.
Let's give it a beat, definitely. But then at that point when you're like, maybe like a year out of it, you're like, what's one more? Like, it's totally fine.
Yeah, we've already got 4 in there. Let's do another one. Yeah, maybe. But we'll see. We're both on the the maybe page.
Well, Sharna, I really appreciate your time as always. I couldn't be more happy for you and Brian and your beautiful family. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Definitely.
I can't believe I made it without crying.
I'm so impressed. I am so impressed that you put yourself
Very
together.
proud
like
of myself
this.
right now.
I'm like, my son is like 13 months old. I can barely get it together. Big, you look great. Congratulations.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly magazine.